80s Wrestling Con 4 is this weekend. It's you obviously had to take some time off for the pandemic, but you had the third one since then. This one seems like a little bit more of a return to form. Would you say that you feel that way as far as just getting people to come in, from promoter side of things, getting talent to come in and fans to come back?
First of all, thank you for having me on, and excited to talk to you about 80s Wrestling Con every year. We team up with you guys, do interviews with some of the guys that are going to be appearing there, and you guys are always so generous with promoting the event, and I can't thank you enough. So first and foremost, thank you so much for that. Yeah, man, it seems like it's getting bigger and bigger. Like this year, this weekend, is probably the biggest response that I've gotten so far for an 80s Wrestling Con. And it seems like, more and more people are going back out. And it's a reason why also I took a break from doing the virtual signings, because people want to be able to go out again, have fun again, and get back to normal and, shake the wrestlers' hands and have an opportunity to, take a picture with them and stuff like that. So, yeah, I see a lot of orders and people excited for this one. So, yeah, I think this is going to be the biggest one yet.
I know you had some other stuff planned. Unfortunately, Lanny Poffo passed away, so that kind of changed things a little bit. But you do have Bret Hart, Bob Orton, Demolition, Killer Bees, a lot of big names from that era. What's it like, sort of building out your card, so to speak? Like, obviously, you would say Bret is the headliner. There's a lot of big names, not just from WWF, but
Sure.
you have the original Midnight Express, Nikita Koloff, Magnum TA. What's your what's your perspective, or what's your goal when sort of building these lineups? Like, who do you want to attract? Because it feels like you want to attract not just 80s fans, but fans of different promotions too.
Absolutely. And thank you first and foremost for noticing that. And the way I build my convention, obviously Bret the Hitman Hart is the big draw. And then underneath him would probably be, Sergeant Slaughter, followed by, Dory Funk. I mean, they're neck and neck. They're both gigantic stars in their own right. And then I have 5 tag teams appearing at 80s Wrestling Con this weekend called Tag Team Mayhem. Teams of the 80s. Demolition's going to be there. The Powers of Pain are going to be there. The original Midnight Express are going to be there. We're also going to have the Beverly Brothers there as well. And, so you don't want to have, you only have, the convention's only for so long, so you can't have, 100 big names there. You can't have, 5 Bret Harts there, because there's only so much time in the day there that they're going to be appearing and signing. So, if people are, just say I had Sting with Bret Hart this weekend. Sting's not appearing, and if he was there, you have, these 2 guys who are iconic names, and everyone's waiting online for them. And in the meantime, you have 50 other stars in some of these different conventions. Bring in that many, they're sitting around there twiddling their thumb. You gotta balance it. And I've been fortunate enough to have been doing this December would mark the 30-year anniversary from my first convention I ever did. So, I have a lot of experience behind doing it and how to structure it. It's not just booking a talent and, and having a convention. There's a lot of other thought and process that goes behind it. Like for this one, for example. So, you only have, everyone and their mother is running conventions as it is. So, you have to some way, somehow, stand out and be different. So, for this one, I'm doing, you get to get a photo op from some of the most, biggest grudges and feuds of the 80s. So, the Wendy Richter and the Lonnie Kai, it's a WrestleMania 1 photo op. So that's a unique opportunity. Nikita Koloff and Magnum TA together doing a photo op. That's a cool opportunity. And then to be standing in the middle of Demolition and the Powers of Pain, all these guys with their face paint on, that's a cool once in a lifetime experience. And then on top of that, we try and do fun stuff too. It's just not a convention where you come in there and get autographs and pictures and you leave, or shop around with, different wrestling vendors selling T-shirts or magazine stuff like that. We put on different shows throughout the day. So there'll be Pro Wrestling Family Feud. We're gonna have 2 teams of 5, Family Feud style, doing 80s professional wrestling. Same thing with 80s Wrestling Jeopardy. We're gonna do at 80s Wrestling Con this Saturday. We're also going to do, Bill Apter's going to host Pro Wrestling Karaoke. I mean, that's going to be super fun. You can draw a picture with Tony Atlas. So we're doing a lot of different activities. There'll be some live ISPW matches during the convention. And then obviously at 5 o'clock, we're having a gigantic ISPW show, the biggest one I've ever put together. So it's all one day. So the doors open 11 a.m., and then there's different activities throughout the day. And then at 5 p.m. is the ISPW matches. We pushed the time of it back because WWE added a pay-per-view, but the pay-per-view don't start at 8 o'clock, so we're starting our show at 5 o'clock.
Saturday, May 6th, 80s Wrestling Con 4. As you said, the convention is just the start of it in the morning, goes through the afternoon, and then ISPW, the show is later that afternoon now. Dave LaGreca has been a big part of what you do. He's doing a live Busted Open at the convention. He's going to be part of the wrestling event too. What's it been like working with him? I know we've talked before. You said he lives not too far from your shop, the Wrestling Collector. You guys are pretty good friends, but what's it mean for you to have him sort of on board as a wrestling personality, lending his name to ISPW, but also now broadcasting at 80s Wrestling Con 4?
A lot. He is absolutely one of the most selfless people I've ever met in my entire life. So I'm an avid listener of Busted Open, and I listen to it because I work in a wrestling store, so I'm going to have wrestling radio on during the day. I'm not going to be sitting there watching all my children. So I have it on, and he's the host of it, and he's really, 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 really talented. I'm not just saying that because he's my friend. I'm saying it because he's very, very, very talented, and he always goes out of his way to either mention me or my store, or find a way to bring up ISPW and or 80s Wrestling Con. Like this week on Busted Open, they're doing a 80s Wrestling Con week all week long, where every day they're having a different wrestler from 80s Wrestling Con to be on there, and I'm going to be on there Friday. So they do promotion all week long with the #1 wrestling radio show in the world. Because he believes in me and he likes me. It's very humbling. It's very humbling, and I'm honored to have him a big part of my stuff, because trust me, I've seen a lot of people that are at my events, over the last year or so that are wearing those Busted Open T-shirts. So I know that he's helping me move the needle up, and he's an invaluable asset to me and for me.
I missed it today, the live airing, but I know Nikita Koloff was on earlier today.
I'm an avid listener, like I said, of Busted Open. So just hearing Nikita on there today was super cool, because they don't, that's a rare name. That's a rare name. So it was cool to hear him on there. Now on Thursday, he's going to have on Magnum TA. So that's going to be really cool as well, listening to Magnum on there. And these 2 guys that, up here we grew up, WWE guys, WWF kids growing up. So, those guys are more down there. So it's cool to hear them up here. And not up here, it gets broadcasted all around the world, but it's broadcasted here in New York. But it's cool, man. Yeah. So I'm excited that, I'm able to get opportunities like that through the relationships I've made being involved in the wrestling business throughout, all these years, man. I trust me, I don't take any of them for granted whatsoever. And Dave's at the top of the mountain for me as far as people that I respect that really, really go out of their way to help me in this business.
All right. Talked a lot about what's at the convention, a little bit about the ISPW event itself. What should people that are staying for the wrestling event, what should they look forward to most? There's a lot going on this card.
Yeah, I appreciate you letting me have this platform to tell them that, because like if you and as of today we have people from 42 states and 8 countries that have already purchased tickets for 80s Wrestling Con this weekend in New Jersey. And, they might not know the average ISPW wrestler. Guys around here, fans around here might have heard of them, but people that are from different states or even more crazily different countries will not know them. So I tried to really amp up the lineup this year and give them people that they know. I have a ton of names on the show, including Val Venus. The Powers of Pain are going to team up and wrestle against the Headbangers in the Now. In a triple threat match is going to be super cool. It's literally the 80s versus the 90s versus the Now. So that's going to be really cool. A veteran in this area, Homicide, he's going to be wrestling and challenging the Phoenix GKM for the ISPW Tri-State title. GKM is red hot right now. He's really climbing the ranks quickly, so I'm excited to see him on that platform against him. Snitsky, he looks better than ever. He's managed by the winner, Andy Weinberg, who is the real-life son of Nikolai Volkov, and will be appearing at the Kids of 80s Wrestling Q&A this Saturday. He's going against Alpha Jr., the Samoan Storm. Alpha is absolutely fantastic, extremely underrated as a worker, and very, very surprised he's not in WWE right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if he got rehired anytime in the near future. Tons of stuff. Crowbar against, I'm sure you want to see this one, Bill. Crowbar against Davey Boy Smith Jr., Harry Smith, for the first time ever. Crowbar has been tearing it up as of late.
One other match that's advertised, Dirty Dango versus Eugene. You mentioned Snitsky. I just saw him on MLW a couple weeks ago. He looks fantastic. ISPW Hall of Fame induction too. Chris Candido.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that one. His brother Johnny Candido is going to be there. An independent veteran in this area, Sean Donovan, will be doing the induction. I'm really excited about that. Also, a fatal 5-way for the ISPW women's title. Let me tell you something. These girls are going to bring it this Saturday. Vicious Vicky, Tina San Antonio, The Gift of Gab, Gabby Ortiz, Adina Steele, and
Notorious Mimi.
What did I miss?
The Notorious Mimi.
How can I forget her straight off the NXT? So there's a fatal 5-way this Saturday. These girls are going to tear the house down. Now, for the main event, Bill, I want to make it special. I wanted to make it unique. It's our WrestleMania this weekend. It's our Super Bowl with 80s Wrestling Con and ISPW All-Star Rock and Wrestling. And it's Bull James, managed by former WWE Tough Enough champion Maven. He has now held the title for 7 months. He is going to be defending the title against Rick Recon. And anyone out there that is following social media and independent wrestling knows that Rick is starting to blow up in this area. He's gotten extremely better, especially the last couple months working with Crowbar. He just wrestled Crowbar in back-to-back steel cage matches, and he's red hot, and he's challenging Bull for the title. And now Dave LaGreca is with Rick Recon, so now LaGreca and Maven are going to be handcuffed to each other, so neither guy can get involved in the match. We're going to have a special ringside enforcer to make sure everything goes okay and that those handcuffs stay on. And that's going to be New York Super Bowl champion Jay Alfred. And then the special guest referee for this one is former 5-time ISPW champion and the first Super 8 winner, Ace Darling, will be the special guest referee. So, I mean, we got a lot of things going on in this match to make it a little bit extra special for our heavyweight title match this year.
Yeah, certainly a lot going on. Anything we didn't cover that you want to get in real quick before we get out of here?
Yeah, we're also going to have Justin Carino. He's going to be there this Saturday. He's issued an open challenge to any WWE Hall of Famer to lace him up one more time and take him on this Saturday at 80s Wrestling Con. So I'm interested to see who is going to answer that challenge, because a little birdie told me someone did. So we're going to find out who it's going to be. And then I have to also announce something else I'm extremely excited for is Val Venus going one-on-one with Danny Morrison. He's a former ISPW heavyweight champion, the heart and soul of ISPW. And then we're also going to have a championship rumble, and the winner of that is going to get an opportunity to get an ISPW heavyweight title shot anytime. And then the last match musical band, Bill, Sylvana Joyce and The Moment, they're going to be performing live at 80 Wrestling Con's Rock and Wrestling. So very excited, a lot going on, and hopefully enough going on to put on paper to make people want to stay, because that's what we're trying to do this year.
Doors for the con are 11 o'clock. Matches at 5 p.m. 80s Wrestling Con 4. Tommy, thanks very much for your time today. It's been fun catching up.
Thank you so much, man. Have a great day.
You as well.